Hi guys, a very good afternoon. Maskurase. Actually, Maskatere. Very good evening. So, welcome to African Beyond Television Network. My name is Ronald Eweko Makusha, and let us talk about the United Nations intervention in the nation of Zimbabwe. And we need to look at the possibility of the United Nations to actually come to Zimbabwe, to actually come and intervene in the nation of Zimbabwe, given the political situation we now have in the nation of Zimbabwe, given the economic situation we now have in the nation of Zimbabwe. And it's good for us to actually check because it gives us direction of where we are supposed to go and where we are supposed to be coming from. So let us look at what Comrade Neva Masquera said regarding that issue, because that statement is very important. This is the foundation of our matter here. Comrade Neva Masquera is saying it's strategic imperative for the UN to take proactive action on political violence being perpetrated by ZANU-PF, where political opposition is being persecuted before the situation degenerates into civil war. United Nations need to remind Mnangagwa of his government's democratic obligations. And this is a very valid statement here being raised by Comrade Neva Masquera say. And let us look at the United Nations. What is United Nations? How does it operate? So in 1945, after the aftermath of the World War II, if I'm not mistaken, the United Nations Peace and Security was formed. And let me try to put it on the screen here so that we can talk from something we are actually seeing. Okay, let me add this one on the screen so that you can actually see for yourself what we are talking about here. Right. Okay. Added. Right. So I don't know if you can actually see, but I believe you are seeing. So I hope we'll be able to make this presentation for you to understand how the United Nations can actually intervene in the nation of Zimbabwe. So the United Nations was created in 1945 following the devastation of the Second World War. And the central mission was to bring maintenance of peace, or not only peace, but international peace and security. Then the United Nations is obliged to actually prevent conflict. That is the major role of the United Nations. So United Nations must not come after the crisis. United Nations must come soon before the crisis. That is where we expected to see the United Nations intervening or coming into effect. So they deploy what they call peacekeepers. If there is a conflict, they have to deploy peacekeepers so that the parties in conflict can actually resolve their conflict amicably. So let us look at the Security Council itself. So the Security Council, it takes the lead in issues of determining the existence of a threat to the peace or an act of aggression. So what they do is that they call the parties in dispute to settle whatever dispute they have in using peaceful means, and they recommend the methods of adjustments or the terms the terms of settlement. That is the function of the United Nations Security Council. And there is the United Nations General Assembly, which is the main deliberative policy-making and the representative organ of the UN. So you can actually see that through regular meetings, the General Assembly provides a forum for member states to express their views to the entire membership and to find consensus on these difficult issues. So I'm telling you about this because this confirms the background of my story here today. So if we are to look at the reasons why the United Nations was formed, as you can see right here on the screen, we have talked about it was created to maintain international peace, and they are obligated to deploy peacekeepers to make sure that they create conditions which allows peace to flourish. And looking at the situation of Zimbabwe, the General Security Council, the Security Council of the UN should begin to assess the situation in Zimbabwe right now. Advocate Nelson Chamisa has been chased several times since last year. His cars were stoned, and he has been fought several times by ZANU PF. Mboneni Ncube was murdered in Kwekwe. We also lost More Blessing Ali. We have a lot of opposition people being murdered, others being arrested, others being beaten. And the United Nations should actually instruct the Security Council to investigate and look into this conflict and see um, how best they can actually avoid a civil war. Why? If Advocate Nelson Chamisa calls for one day to say, "Ngatidzorerei," what is going to happen next? It's because the people of Zimbabwe are tired. So if the other party is pushed to the limit to actually say it, let us fight back, the results are actually disastrous. The results, nobody won't actually love the results of such a scenario. This is the reason why we are calling for the United Nations to actually intervene at this point in time, so that they stop civil war, or they stop ZANU-PF from actually killing citizens. So ZANU-PF always speak about sanctions, about United States of America placing illegal sanctions on Zimbabwe. Here is the point: there is a United Nations General Assembly. That is where Zimbabwe should take its matters to. They must actually make sure that they forward their matters of sanctions through the United Nations General Assembly. Also, they must talk to their allies, China, Russia, who form part of the United Nations Security Council, to actually talk sense to the USA. If they have any conflict, it must be resolved through the United Nations Security Council. And China is there, Russia is there. Why are they not pushing for the issue of sanctions using those forums? That is what is very, very important, because we would want to see the United Nations taking Zimbabwe, taking the US, sitting down as parties to whatever conflict they have, so that they resolve it. And they must stop actually giving Advocate Nelson Chamisa a blame to this issue, because he's not involved in any way. Because how do you try to say the conflict you created on your own with the United States of America? You always call United States of America names, and vamuchiti varungu, vana vasatan. So how do you expect United Nations, USA to actually react, UK to react? So these issues, you can actually see that this is the right time. ZANU-PF must know where to put their complaints to. They must place their complaints to the United Nations Security Council, United Nations General Assembly. But at this point in time, we really demand an intervention, because the purpose of the United Nations is to prevent a conflict to actually happen. That is their sole purpose. That is their mandate, as I have shown you right here on the screen, to say that is their sole mandate, is to make sure that they, they stop violence to happen. So the situation in Zimbabwe should not escalate to war. That is what should concern United Nations. If they are serious, they must be concerned about loss of lives. Before lives are lost, come, intervene, talk senses into the leaders of Zimbabwe, talk senses into the politicians in Zimbabwe, so that they understand and they see what really needs to be done. So Team Zimbabwe, I think I have done justice. I think I have explained. I don't want to take much of your time. Why? It's because we want to keep these videos shorter, and to allow others to actually have access to them, those without much data. If we take long to explain issues, it disadvantages those with low data. Jack Ngwenya, my brother, thank you very much for coming, my brother. And sorry for the late coming. Yes, sorry, my brother. Please, you need to rewatch from the beginning, my brother Jack Ngwenya, because I have explained a lot and I don't want to take it longer. than this. For the sake of those without data, we need them to actually understand these issues. So thank you very much for coming, everybody. Thank you very much for your support. Can also to a subscriber, please hit the subscribe button. Can also to a liker, please like, comment, and also share to as many people as possible. Please ring the notification bell so that you don't miss out Pese Patringeti live, because we intend to go live 24/7. Kusuka 2023 muswe inauguration ya President Nonzo Chamisa tinenge tiripo takatikata. So in conclusion, we were talking about the United Nations possible intervention in the nation of Zimbabwe, and this is the right time for them to intervene, because Zimbabwe is now heading towards a conflict, a serious conflict, which might lead to civil war, and they actually need to come and stop it before it goes to the extremes. They have the mandate, they have the duty as the United Nations to actually do that. So this is it, Team Zimbabwe. My name is Ronald Wekwamakusha. Let us meet in other episodes and other programs. Please, if you are here, please leave a comment. Tell me, how are you seeing our programs? We are trying to improve the way we do things so that everybody understands where we are going and where we are coming from. So I need you to tell me, what do you think? Do we have any improvement or I don't know. In the comment section, please tell us your views, your thoughts, and your contributions. Thank you very much.